All right, you guys, welcome to the Hope Ignited Studio.
We did it. We're in season 2.
I cannot believe that we have made it to season 2.
Incredible. They should have canceled us already.
Well, I mean, the jury's still out.
It is out. We'll see.
But
we may get yanked about halfway through this season, depending on how it goes.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Are your nails? You have very shiny nails. I just noticed.
I think it's the lighting reflecting on them, or it might have to do with the fact that I've been looks maxing.
Looks maxing. I mean,
here. I don't want to go down that path.
Here's the thing.
Funny. This
elephant in the room. Did you leave the rest of you in season 1? Because you look really skinny.
Thank you. Yeah, the literal elephant in the room. I lost 50 pounds. I got to a point where I was just out of control. And
you lost 50 pounds?
Yeah, you got to see it. You know, y'all got to see before and after. Normally people put pictures up. And so, yeah, I lost 50 pounds. I worked really, really hard. Not just for this podcast.
Like before and after. Like I'm the before and you're the after.
It was like Chris Farley.
50 pounds.
Yeah, 50 pounds. Worked out really, really hard. I just had that moment in life where, you get the phone call from the doctor and they go, you got to get control. And I just was being lazy. In your 40s, you get lazy.
I wouldn't know anything about being in my 40s.
And I'm speaking for all the 40, you know what I'm talking about? And you just kind of sitting at home watching Netflix and you're having a glass of wine and cheese at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night and it's on a Tuesday.
Oh, man.
Okay, I gotta settle down. Anyway, the looks maxing thing is that I've got all these YouTube things piling in now. My algorithm has changed. And so my teenage kids were telling me about that. And basically what it means is just like grooming. Like, you're like, oh, colognes and skincare and all that stuff. And so one of the things was I bit my nails too for a really long time. And I finally got control of that. And so I've had to put this stuff on them so I don't bite my nails.
When I was a baby, I used to do that. And my dad would dip my fingernails in Tabasco sauce. And I would literally be like...
But that's why you're from Louisiana.
It's exactly. That's how they knew I was going to be like a world-class crawfish. Probably so. Yeah. I still do. Yeah. Next time. Well, anyways, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
You do look great. But speaking of looking great, how about the studio?
Guys, are you happy? Are you entertained? Look at what we did.
Are you not entertained?
Look at what we did. Okay, like even the wood paneling back there was handcrafted from
I cut down
Amazon.
A tree in the wilderness. Yeah,
she hand sawed all the little rivets in between.
Yeah, look at that.
But no, this is we just heard a lot of feedback from everyone about. We were hearing feedback from you guys, the faithful few that were watching consistently.
Yeah, all 10 of you.
All 10 of you gave us feedback. Thanks, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah,
and you said how much that you're enjoying it, and we go, we got to really make a good commitment to this. Mm-hmm. And so what we did is we broke ground here on, we took what was a former conference room at our headquarters at NBCF, and we did it right. And you'll be able to see different angles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're really proud of it. I mean, I think the unique thing too is we kind of have our own touches on the studio. So a lot of what you'll see is a little bit of Kevin, a little bit of me. We really look forward to kind of a new segmented type podcast where we want to get to know you guys. Yeah. We want you to get to know us better. We're going to really do a great job of listening to our audience and incorporating some of your feedback into the show. And I think it's going to be a really fun time just to really get to know us better. We always would just jump into our guests, and that's definitely the most important part of every show that we have. But, people kept saying to us, like, we feel like we're not hearing anything about you guys. We don't know anything about y'all. So buckle up. Yeah, because you're going to get real disappointed.
For better or worse, you're going to know more about us. But,
oh, man. And all 50 of your pounds that you left behind. Yeah. I feel like I've changed. I spray tanned more.
I was going to say,
I'm very tan.
I'm tan from looking like me to you got the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader tan going now, but
I wouldn't be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. I'd be like a Saint Sation. That's the New Orleans
Saints. That's what they're called?
Yeah, Saint Sation. Saint Sational.
That's probably why I hadn't heard of them, because they're from the
whatever.
We have the Cowboys cheerleaders, which are the most iconic cheerleaders.
Haven't won a Super Bowl since I was born. Weird.
But we have to emphasize secondary things like that because we don't win on the field. But that's a different story.
That's fine. Yeah, I would talk about the cheerleaders too if I was a Cowboys fan. Speaking of football.
Yeah.
we have a really phenomenal guest.
I can't even believe it. We went from having this kind of, like season 1 where there's a lot of question marks about what are we going to do and all that, to then season 2, we're opening up with this guest who is really well known.
Literally
unbelievable.
Probably one of the biggest celebrities I've ever been in the presence of.
Okay. But before we do season 2, get new guests and all that kind of stuff, I was thinking about that this morning before we shot this, that we didn't do a proper, we didn't break ground. We didn't do the shovels or anything.
Hard hat tour.
And I thought, how can we do a ribbon cutting? So I just was like looking around in my garage and I found some ribbons. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Is it okay?
You want to do an actual ribbon cutting?
I want to do a ribbon cutting. You guys want to see an actual ribbon cutting?
Is this from my daughter's hair?
My wife is going to be upset that I grabbed this from her box.
This is from the bonnet of a pilgrim.
Okay, so we got to hold this up, and I could not find anything.
This is ridiculous.
I couldn't find scissors, so I thought I would just reach into the toolbox and pull out a Sawzall.
Kevin, in the name.
You want to?
I don't know. I don't like that.
Just put it right there.
This is not for me. This is not for me. Unless we're shaving my legs, you need to put it away.
Okay.
I don't like that.
All right.
I do not like it.
Okay, hold on.
What is this ribbon? What color is this? Welcome to
I don't know. It's just in the
off-white old garage ribbon. You got a pink ribbon.
Okay, I got.
This is so ridiculous.
I got some.
Use your teeth.
I can never open these up. You need a tool to open up the tool.
The Swiss Army knife.
This is my wife's.
What
Swiss Army knife.
Is this?
So here you go. There's scissors. Give it a shot.
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
can you even see this? This is
hold
ridiculous.
It up. This is a big moment, everyone.
Did you have this in your purse? No,
this is. I had it in my laptop bag.
Like I'm cutting it right now.
Okay,
Are you counting down?
Yeah. Here we go. This is big, everyone. Let's celebrate.
1, 2, 3.
We did it. Season 2. Woo!
We're going to keep this forever. I'm going to wear this the next episode.
Sorry, Amanda.
This is you just had this with you.
I still want to find some use for this later in I had to find a battery.
You could just never bring that back again. I don't know can you do this? I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay, so no, but for real, let's go ahead and talk about the guests that we're going to have for season 2.
We should. I don't know how you come off of an amazing ribbon cutting into that, but I'll tell you, a few months ago, I got a message on LinkedIn and it was from a PR person, and she said, "Hey, I can't name who this celebrity is." She said, "But I've got a client that you're definitely going to know." Mm-hmm. And I knew it was a she, will be on the Today Show tomorrow. You should tune in because she's going to make a very big announcement for you guys. And y'all know we've talked about this for a long time. I am a Today Show fan. I never miss the Today Show.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, what a tough assignment. I'll just do what I do every morning. And so, I didn't really say anything to anybody at NBCF because I'm like, who knows? Like, this could be a joke. Is it going to air? Whatever. And then all of a sudden we saw Kristin Juszczyk on the Today Show. Yep. We're going to talk a little bit more about, her background and who she is, but she basically was on there with Kaylee Hartung, which is another one of my very favorite news correspondents. You guys know her from, different football games. She's a sideline reporter. And she was revealing that she had created, this is Kristen, a custom, one-of-a-kind Super Bowl puffer vest, which we all have really said that 10 times fast. Super Bowl puffer vest. Super Bowl puffer vest. It was team agnostic, so it was going to be for both Super Bowl teams. Her custom logo on the inside, and she wanted and was planning to auction off this vest and donate 100% of the proceeds to National Breast Cancer Foundation.
So I'm just trying to get in your mind because we found out from you, but you're on the air, you're watching this live.
Yes.
And she says National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Yes.
And you just flipped out.
I flipped out. I mean, I had to shave my legs again because of the goosies. It was the best moment. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I remember sitting down and I was like, who am I going to call? Who?
Yeah. Well, then you just blew up Slack and everything.
Everybody, because I couldn't believe it. You don't even dream of things
this
that
is Super
big.
Bowl week too. So as you know, there's just a huge media circus going on that week.
Yes,
all eyes are on the different teams. Of course, you should probably give some background for a second on who Kristen's husband is.
Well, for sure. But here's the thing. At that time, the world knew about Kristen because of the Taylor Swift moment.
Right,
so for
right.
those of you, just to kind of bring you back, so
Yeah.
she had created this custom jacket for Brittany Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes' wife, and Brittany wore it and it went viral and it was a really big moment. And the really neat thing about that moment is that through social media and all the comments, you saw Kyle, Kristen's husband, saying, "That's my girl. Here's my wife."
Yeah.
Because it was saying this designer,
Yeah.
custom jacket made for Brittany Mahomes. It was all about kind of Brittany at that time. And Kyle just went so hard for his wife. And it was the coolest thing because he was
lots
like,
of love and support.
and it wasn't like, oh, it's my wife. It was, this is Kristen. I'm Kristen's
like a designer
husband.
brand. It'd be like Tory Burch or something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then so from that, Kristen said, well, maybe I'm onto something. So she said, hey, Brittany, I know you're friends with Taylor Swift because Taylor is dating, Travis.
Yeah.
She said, do you think she'd be willing to wear one of my designs? And Brittany said,
Who's this Taylor Swift person you're talking about?
Just a tiny little person that Google her. You should Google her.
Independent artist?
Yeah, up and coming.
Okay. All right, I'll keep an eye on her.
Which I remember I met Taylor Swift way back in the day, and she was an up and coming music artist, and nobody wanted to meet her. So I stood in line.
You have
the non-existent line. I do have a picture of it.
If we figured season
We'll
2,
have
we
to
might
show
be
it.
dropping these pictures in as we talk. I'm gonna just have faith that we're gonna do that.
But it's like
Keep going.
curly-haired baby Taylor.
Oh, back like baby Taylor.
Baby
Okay.
Taylor. And
That's
she was
pretty
like, come
cool.
meet me. And I went out to get in this long line and there was no line. Literally, I was the only one standing there. And so for an hour, we just sat there and
So what
started
you're
talking.
saying is you're the one that brokered the relationship with Kristen and
20%. I'm the agent.
And then Brittany Mahomes covered the 80. Okay, I got
Ashley
you.
Miller, Public
All right.
Relations.
Well, keep going. Sorry, I sidetracked
No,
you.
it's fine. So the gist of the story is Taylor wears the jacket that Kristen designs, and she just blows up. I mean, it's incredible how sometimes you can just have the right person. God puts them in your path, and it just really changed the trajectory forever of really what Kristen was going to do. But it was just such a beautiful thing for us because. Again, I love Kyle. Let's talk about Kyle for a second. You're a big football fan.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about a resume.
Right. So, Kyle is, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's been playing for the 49ers. He's a fullback from the 49ers.
Yeah.
Fascinating. He was actually the highest paid fullback in history when he signed his contract at one point for 4-year,
That's
$21 million.
insane.
Fullbacks.
He doesn't need Taylor Swift.
No. This guy's a legend, and this is saying a lot because, as you know, the 49ers and Cowboys we don't get along so well.
Saints love them. It's fine.
Back in the day, when we were both competitive with each other, but he is an 8-time Pro Bowler. The guy's done, set every record you can set, and he's a Harvard alum, which is probably how I know him because I took some online classes at Harvard back in the day.
Yeah, Kevin was actually his professor.
No, this
and
guy
his
for real,
strength and conditioning coach.
He straight up went to Harvard. He didn't just go to the gift shop and get a T-shirt like I did. But
do you think people can ask
guy.
you? Do people go to Harvard and they're like, instead of being a rocket scientist, I think I'll just play football? Or do you think it's how does that happen?
I think that if what I've seen with those athletes that end up being standout athletes at those Ivy League universities, they end up being the kind of people that are like, oh, and by the way, I'm going to be an astronaut too. They're ultra achievers, or I'm going to be an Olympian. Obviously, they've got the brains and the brawn to do both. But so, it's really neat because I feel like you find a really great person. Their spouse is awesome as well, and so that kind of leads us back to Kristen. She's phenomenal.
You give the background on Kyle. The cool thing about that is standalone. And for years, he's had the spotlight, right? He's been the guy that people are talking about. But what I think is so unique about this is that he finally said, you know what? I'm in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But my wife deserves all the attention because she is self-taught.
Right.
That's the coolest thing. We were looking at a self-taught fashion designer. She taught herself by watching YouTube. That's so you.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
I got to
so
tell you,
you.
let me sidebar on that for a second. I think that this is the coolest time in the history of man where we can learn anything. You could be like, I want to learn how to weld. It used to be that any kind of that's not going to be my new habit, by the way. Or hobby.
Power tools and welding.
But I have learned so many things from YouTube because you get in and you get, like I said, you get that algorithm going, and then it's funny, you get off on these rabbit trails. Does anybody have any random stuff? What's the most random thing you've gotten off into? I've gotten off into horseshoes, like farriers or what they're called. And I'll just spend hours watching this cowboy like pry off horseshoes and like mold them to the foot and all that.
This is why we have 10 viewers.
I know. I'm sorry.
Like
we lost about 2 of them.
Sure did.
That.
Thanks, Mom, for hanging in there.
Mom will always hang in there.
Mom and our producer, Doug.
What were we even talking about? I don't know. We're talking about YouTube.
Really went down that.
She decides to do something that ends up being a vocation. So she gets in and starts learning how to do, sewing and working with fabrics because she had a passion for it.
And she upcycles. That's the cool thing, right? Like she will take old shirts and jerseys and jackets and sweaters and upcycle them into like a really posh like runway item.
Yeah.
And she lost her mom to breast cancer. We're going to talk a little bit more about this with her when she was 18. So she's a very strong cause connection.
Right.
And it was just a really unique opportunity for NBCF because you've got all eyes on Taylor Swift. You've got all eyes on the Super Bowl. You've got all eyes on this up and coming fashion designer who is designing all of these custom pieces to the stars. And she chose us.
Yeah, she did. And we'll get into this, in the episode, but from what she said, it was really her finding a way to bring her mom into the moment of the Super Bowl because it is the biggest stage. When the whole world is watching that media circus and watching this Sunday, and you got all the commercials and everything, but all the interviews. And so Kristen was like, how can I bring my mom and her legacy into this? And how can I bring her into this moment? And that is what is going to be so fun to, as you'll hear, to talk to her about it.
I can't wait. And let's just say, what a way to kick off season 2 of Hope Ignited. I mean, we're so lucky, and we genuinely look forward to you guys getting to know Kristen the way that we do and fall in love with her heart. If you don't already follow her, we encourage you guys to go do that. Make sure too that you're following Hope Ignited. We've got all new social channels for season 2. So you can find us on YouTube, on Instagram, on X, on Facebook.
Whatever you use. Yeah.
Brand new website. Just like it and share it, you guys. I mean, I'm telling you, you won't regret, tuning in this season. We've got a quicker release schedule. Things will be a little more expedited.
It was crazy. Again, for the folks that were watching last season, we would have episodes where we'd shoot it, and then we're like, oh, should we release it? And we were just distracted, and it would be like months later.
Yeah.
And then our guests were going, hey, remember that thing I shot 9 years ago?
Yeah.
Are you ever going to put that up on the screen? So that's one of the things that we've committed to, is to making sure that we're consistently putting them out. We'll let you guys know what the schedules are, but definitely. And then also just, you're going to be seeing video. We'll have full episodes of video. Sorry, we'll find a way to like block me out, and you can just focus on Ashley.
I'll get tanner as the season goes on.
She's going to get tanner and tanner until it's like you just are like a lizard.
Apparently, I'll just the chameleon into the wood grain.
Watch me start adding weight. I just go.
It's like we go into our
Willy
old
Wonka.
self. The blueberry.
I'm just getting bigger and bigger again, and no one wants to say anything, and I'm in denial. I'm like, hey, let's go celebrate a great podcast. Let's go to the CC's buffet. No, I'm not doing that. Y'all hold me accountable. I'm doing all this work.
I'll hold you accountable. We'll make you get a walking treadmill.
I'm not painting my nails for nothing, all right?
You love that I called you out on that. I know
that's
that you
so
did.
right. We were like talking about what we were actually going to talk about in the first segment, and then she hit me with that curveball about the nails, and now I feel like I got to stand up for my masculinity.
That's what I'm here for.
This is why I focus so much on engine repair, powerlifting. What else?
I can't with you. Masculine? I don't even know. Go sports.
Go sports.
Go sports. All right, guys, let's get into our episode with Kristen Juszczyk.
Here we go.
We are finally here, kicking off season 2 of Hope Ignited with the biggest guest of all time.
Well, as we were talking about, we've christened this new studio. We did the ribbon cutting.
Did you say christened?
Christened. That's a clue to who we have on here, even though we already just told you who was on here.
You're a little shiny. Do you feel shiny?
Well, I just used some powder on my forehead for the first time. I asked for it.
You need a matte filter? Is there a matte
You guys like my forehead now? I spent about 5 minutes trying to get some powder on it and to knock the shine down.
It's fine. I think I'm getting tanner as this episode goes along.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to just what a big day for Hope Ignited, you guys. We have talked a lot about this, but she's finally here. Give it up for Kristin Juszczyk.
Yay! Welcome, Kristen.
You're here. You made it.
Yes.
You landed amongst the storms.
Yes.
You were worried about it, and I will say we haven't cried our lashes off yet. So it's a very good day here.
I know. I wasn't prepared. I don't know why, but I don't know why I didn't just do full waterproof. I should have known when I came in here it was going to be a lot of tears, but they're all good tears.
Emotional in the best way, right?
Yes, the best way. Sometimes, when you feel it in your throat and you're speaking, you're like, it's got to come out. There's nothing I can do.
Yep, it's happening.
That's how it feels. Yeah.
Well, I do want to just kick it off with something kind of funny. We hear and we read these stories all the time. Celebrities are just like us. One of my favorite moments that we've shared so far today is you told me, you said, I want you to know, as soon as I landed, I went straight to Walmart. Yeah. I love you for that. You skipped
straight to Walmart.
Neiman and, the Galleria Dallas, straight to Walmart.
No, they have
my
everything.
Queen. My queen.
And I was like, do we need anything? We need a trampoline. We need a bra. What do you need? We can get it all here.
One stop shop in the name of the
shop.
Lord. I love it so much. Well, hey, we're so excited that you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
We joke about it, but it's so overdue. Honorary member of the National Breast Cancer Foundation family. And I told you this earlier, but good luck getting rid of us now.
Oh, I don't want to get rid of you guys.
so happy you're here.
Well, so you are in the news every time I turn around, which is really exciting. I have to imagine the last few months has been a giant whirlwind for you that you never would have guessed when you clicked that first YouTube sewing tutorial video.
It's crazy.
Right? So first of all,
yeah.
I'd like to know about the sewing for a second. How did you get into that? Because that's what kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah, it's really such a crazy story. So if we're going to start from the beginning, I've always loved fashion my whole life. I've always been interested in, I've always wanted to feel my best and look my best. And, once my husband he came to the 49ers, I would say, and we've been so blessed. He's had such a long career. He's going on to year 12, which is insane. And I would say halfway through his career, I was just so sick of wearing the same old t-shirt. Mm-hmm. I had 3 things on rotation. It was a t-shirt, a jersey, and another type of t-shirt. And at the time, what I was looking for just really didn't exist. And I thought to myself, all right, if it doesn't exist, there's only one other option, and that's to create. And I actually had a box of Kyle's merch. He made a shirt that said 100% juice. And we had a box of 20 t-shirts. And I was looking at them. I'm like, I feel like I could do something fun with these. So I always kind of knew how to use a sewing machine. And it's one of those things, I don't know if you've ever felt this in your life, where you do it and you don't know how you know how to do it. That's kind of how that felt like. Every Halloween would come around and I would make my Halloween costume. And that's kind of how I really got introduced to sewing. One Halloween, Kyle and I wanted to be Justin and Brittany, that VMA,
denim on denim.
Was he going to do the perm?
Hat. We did it all.
Was he going to do the ramen hair perm?
Yeah,
the ramen hair.
He kept the cowboy hat on.
Okay, gotcha.
So that was the first time I bought a sewing machine, was for Halloween.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah, thank you, Brittany.
It's all because of Brittany and Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
That costume, that look is iconic. So we had to recreate it. And I went on YouTube. I learned how to thread a sewing machine. I got probably the most basic sewing machine that was very user-friendly. Made the costume, and I was like, wow, that was awesome. And then put it away for a year. Yeah. And I just never really brought the sewing machine back out. And then it happened again the next Halloween. I was Ashley O from Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Black Mirror, the Miley Cyrus episode. Love Miley Cyrus, by the way. Huge fan.
Yes.
And I did the same thing. I brought the sewing machine out, made the costume, and then put it away again. And then I think I going back to, I was just kind of sick of wearing the same old stuff. I was like, I feel like I could make something. I kind of feel like I have a natural talent for it. So I brought the sewing machine out. I Googled how to make sweatpants, because I figured, let me start with something that isn't form-fitting. Because when I was making the Halloween costumes, I kind of was just layering pieces. I would get a dress and I would layer pieces on top of it. I wasn't actually making a garment.
Right.
And I started with the sweatpants, and now I look back at those sweatpants and I'm crawling out of my skin.
I love it.
But I was so proud of them when I first made them, and I made a matching crop top with it. And it's funny because the shirt was black, and I remember everyone was like, "Why did you make Raider sweatpants?" Because I made black, white, and silver, but I was just trying to work with the colors of the t-shirt. And then it kind of just really snowballed from there. I started making a few things that year. Then the next year I started making more things, and I tried to like push my talents and push my skill sets, and just researching how to make jackets, how to make skirts, how to make shirts. And it's all trial and error.
Yeah.
It requires so much patience. I would say that's like the number one tool set you need to have if you want to sew. There's so many times you want to take that damn sewing machine and throw it right out the window. Yeah.
I saw you the other night. You were like, okay, so it's like 2 a.m. my time.
Always.
I'm going to strip every bit of stitching that I've done and I'm going to start over. But you were so cool, calm, and collected. You were like, this is how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a procrastinator to heart. It's a horrible quality of mine, but I really am.
But you're great under pressure.
I'm great under pressure. So I will leave things, and I'm a night owl. Like I love just staying up night listening to music.
So you got some music going.
I'm always listening to music or listening to podcasts. Kyle got me this like portable screen, and I'll like play movies, and it'll be like right next to me.
Nice.
But I love just like you kind of enter your own little universe when you're in there. It's just like you and your creation, and it's so rewarding because you spend so many hours.
Are you able to know when it's time to stop? Because you
that's
could
a
go
huge
back,
problem
right?
of
Like
mine.
good enough. It's good enough.
Yeah.
When I start making a lot of mistakes, that's when like you're like, okay, you're exhausted, like go to bed. But I have such a hard time, and I think other artists can relate to this. When you start getting in that groove, it is so hard to walk away from a project when you're not done with it.
Right.
To like leave it halfway through, you're like, I can't sleep because it's all you're like fixated on it.
I find myself, I'm like waking up and I'm like, did she complete it? Did she make her deadline? Did
Yeah,
it happen?
yeah, yeah.
Is the zipper
The
on
stress.
right? Like
Yeah.
I'm like so invested, I think one of the things that's been the most incredible is just to see like how people go hard for you
Yeah,
and
it's
just like
been- oh my
you're
gosh.
following. One of the things that I was super excited to talk about, let's go back to the early days for all the ladies that are watching today.
Sure.
I want to talk about how you met Kyle. I want to
Okay.
talk, we live
Oh
in
my
a
gosh,
Bravo,
that's a hilarious
Bravo
story.
universe, right? So it's like all of this. Were you guys in Baltimore? Like
were in
where?
Baltimore.
Yeah, tell me the story. Tell me about how y'all
Oh
met.
gosh. Okay. So I had just transferred. I went to school at University of Rhode Island, and then I transferred to school in Towson. And at the time, I think I was there for like a month. My cousin was also going to a nearby school. So my uncle, which it's everybody who knows me knows Uncle Johnny Shades. That's what everyone calls him. He loves to take full credit for my relationship.
Oh, shout out to Johnny Shades.
Oh,
we
yeah,
love
he'll
you.
love that.
Hi, Uncle Johnny. Hi.
And he had tickets to a Ravens game. I had never been to an NFL game before. I didn't really come from like a big sports family. We were a lot like surfers and fishermen, and
Those are sports.
yeah, but just not like big NFL.
For sure. Like football. Yeah.
My brother was a fan, but I don't know. Me and my sister, we were really never like too interested in it at the time.
Yeah.
So we go to the game. He gets us tickets, and they were playing the Panthers, and they were winning by like 40 points. So everyone was leaving the stadium, and we were in the nosebleeds. So I was like, let's try to go down and get better seats. So we ended up sitting behind the bench, and I saw Kyle on the field, and I remember being like, oh gosh, 44 is handsome. And then I look at the pamphlet, and I'm like, damn, he went to Harvard.
Yeah.
Like, talk about total package.
Wow.
Losing my
Rocket
voice. I always
scientist
lose my
football
voice.
player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really it. And then a few weeks later, there was a Ravens commercial on TV. And I told my friend, I was like, oh, there was a really cute player on the field, 44. I remember. They're like, oh, well, let's see if he has Facebook. Because at that time, Instagram really wasn't as popular.
Yeah.
So I requested him on Facebook.
Stop it.
No way.
And then he just started liking all my old photos from like years ago.
He went.
I could tell he was
Who's
like,
this random request?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do some deep diving.
Can we
here.
have a break in the podcast to I'm gonna get on Facebook real quick. Like love my husband, but just see what happens.
You hit his radar screen.
Wild.
So then what was the moment when you finally go, okay, let's actually like talk to each other in real life or anything
And
like
what
that?
did you wear? I'm so stressed
oh
about it.
gosh. Well, I was a broke college student. I had many options. But
Probably Forever 21, right? Yeah.
Gosh, live, breathe, eat.
Charlotte
Forever
Russe.
21.
Charlotte Russe.
Yes, Forever
Yeah.
21 was a staple. It still is, honestly.
Yeah.
And we started messaging each other, and he asked me out to dinner, and I was so nervous. I had one of my friends drive all the way from New York to like prep me because I'm like, I'm so immature. I'm young. I'm 20.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mature enough for this. Like, I can't be going on a blind date. Yeah. And it was just like, I thought it was, it was just going to be like a story, or we would meet and that would be it. And honestly, it was just like, instant chemistry. And we stayed at that restaurant for like 4 hours. They literally kicked us out. They were closing, and we were just inseparable ever since that.
It's giving so many women hope right now.
Yeah.
Girls, get on Facebook.
Yeah,
and find
shoot
your man.
shot.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so crazy.
And call Johnny Shades if you need to be hooked up. Uncle Johnny, we're going to hook you up on the dating app.
Oh, he will remind me every day that it's his reason.
Hashtag Johnny Shades.
Hashtag Johnny Shades.
I'm here for it.
But yeah, and it's so crazy because now it just felt so meant to be. My best friend ended up marrying his best friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is my friend here in the studio.
Wow.
And it just, kind of when you meet someone, when you feel like you just met them your whole life.
Yeah.
It was just like instant.
Oh my gosh,
Incredible.
that's so special.
Yeah, it was really funny.
One of my favorite things about him, and even kind of like that community of like his friends, is like when this started really taking off, like people would be like, oh, look at this cool jacket, look whatever. And the boys were going so hard for you in the comments.
Hard.
And I was like, it takes a village.
It does.
But I love that it was like their prime of their football season.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, that's my wife.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my friend Kristen.
Yeah.
Like I saw Kittle in there all the time. He was like, that's my
oh, they're
girl.
the
Like
best.
people were repping so hard for
Yeah.
you. Like that's a testament to you though, to like not only your talent, but your heart.
Oh, thank you.
Because you didn't need the spotlight. You didn't need the platform. People did that for you.
Yeah.
I do think it's a God thing.
Thank you.
But also like that's like shout out to your tribe.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, shout out to the tribe. Yeah. They have been so supportive, and I think they've seen this journey. It kind of a few years ago, shifted from like a hobby to like, wow, this could actually be an incredible business. And I feel like there's a huge gap and there's such a demand. Mm-hmm. And then I've been working so hard for it for years, and been told no, like any other entrepreneur is always getting told no. And I think they, everyone, especially Kyle, like he sees all the hard work that gets put in day out. So for him to just be able to just shout me out, like and it feels he's part of it as well because he sees it all go down. So
he's got that Harvard brain working on the entrepreneurial element. So what's an example? Because I know as a husband, I'm so proud of my wife and Amanda, and I get so excited to, promote her or whatever.
Sure.
What's an example of something where he just went above and beyond to support your career?
Well, I think when Taylor Swift, shout out to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, we're going to get to that too in a minute. Yeah.
When she wore my jacket, there was obviously a lot of confusion of who made it. And Kyle went day in and day out to respond to every single tweet or X or
whatever.
call it?
I don't know. Yeah, MySpace, whatever.
Yeah. Every single one of them, and just be like, my wife made that jacket, because he was just so proud and wanted to get my name out there as much as he could. And I mean, he does so much to support me in the midst of his craziness, and I think we both feel that way, because when things kind of got a lot of attention around all my designs, it was also like a really stressful time for him. I mean, he was playing in the biggest game of his life, and at that time actually like trying to get to that biggest game. So there's a lot of pressure, and our number one goal as a family, as a unit, has been to win that Super Bowl. That's all our number one goal is. Yeah. And so I'm very aware of that, and I wanted to make sure he felt supported, and he still wants to make sure I feel supported. But it's such a unique position because it's the goal he's wanted his whole life since the moment he knew the word football. It's I want to win that Super Bowl. Yeah. So it was a very chaotic, but very special, and like we said, it was like a lightning bolt moment. It just, you couldn't have written. You could have written a script if we would have won, but
Okay.
But it was just like those couple months were so special, and those memories. Every day we would just remind ourselves like, we need to stay present in this. Like these are the days that we are going to be talking about, and we're going to remember these days right now. So it was
and they're
just
documented.
They're
so documented, which is really, beautiful.
And I would just like to say he won the Super Bowl with you.
Oh, thanks.
And the thing is, what makes you guys so brilliant as a unit, I love hearing you say like our family unit, is not who he is on the field and who you are behind the swing. It's who you guys are off the field, right?
Sure,
it's like you are making a huge difference for women and families when they need it most. Mm-hmm. Our viewers have been following this. Our Hope Ignited, like our fans, like are such a fan of you, not just because of what you did, but because of who you are.
Thank you.
And I just want you to know that, like were so invested in the Super Bowl. I had a shirt made that said "Go Kristen's husband," and I wore it for like every media opportunity, and like I wore the colors, and I was very proud of the shirt.
Yeah, I love that.
And like all NBC, Fox, CBS, local, they were like, "Cool shirt. Where'd you get it?" And I was like, "You can buy one for the low cost of a Hope kit, you know, whatever."
Perfect. Always plug.
We were so invested. Like we went so hard for you. So I just want you to know, like Niners fans for life.
And that's tough for a Cowboys fan to say, but I feel like I laid that down, and I had enough emotional maturity.
Because y'all are never going to make the Super Bowl, so it's fine. But we digress. But I want to know, how do we get? I'm just saying, the Go Saints.
We support everybody.
Yeah, we love the NFL. We love sports.
We love
Go
the
sports.
NFL.
Well, speaking of supporting everyone,
yeah.
You have moved into some other sports, which is so interesting. I just recently saw your Caitlin Clark design.
Oh, how incredible is she?
What in the world?
Talk about woman empowerment.
The GOAT.
Oh my gosh.
She is just revitalized.
I feel like I went
sport.
to Iowa. Like the way I live, breathe, eat for her.
Same.
I'm watching the game. I'm like choked up the whole time. I'm like, did I graduate from Iowa? Like,
right.
You just have so much pride for her and their team and their college and their state. And also the Kittles, they both went there. And Claire played basketball at Iowa.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world.
Such a small world. So we feel super connected to them.
What was so in the design, when you did that design, and we'll put this up on the screen, but what was the, what were you trying to put into it, like to represent her?
Yeah.
I know you probably thought about the little touches.
Well, there's a lot of details to it. I mean, like the things people don't want to hear is you only have like 3 days to make something, and you only get to pick from so many options of like t-shirts and whatnot. I really wanted to use her jersey, but I couldn't get a jersey in time because, they made the game and then I only had like 2 or 3 days to make something. That's why I was staying up so late.
Yeah.
But I loved, there was a shirt or a sweatshirt and it said, "It was never a long shot." And it was her shooting. And like, that is what an incredible quote, right?
Yeah.
She always knew what she wanted, and they were always able to make that goal.
Yep.
So I mean, there's so many design elements that I think of when I see that. I always find the piece that I want to center it around. So that was the piece that I wanted to center it on. I'm like, how can I complement this? Yeah. And even like the details on the jacket, I felt like, I think they were hexagons, but it still kind of resembled a circle. And then to me, it's a basketball. And, and I wanted to put the Final Four and Cleveland on the back. And Kyle's from Cleveland too. So there was like a lot of little pieces where we were like, we have to go to this game. It's in your hometown and we have to support our girl, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And
have you been able to make contact with her in any
she's
way?
So sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet. And I just what an amazing role model for young girls everywhere.
For sure.
And just women in general.
The parallels between kind of like her journey and Kyle's journey, a lot of it is like you get to that pinnacle, you get to that end game, and it's not the result on the court, on the field. It's like the journey to get there. And she has forever changed sports for women. My biggest prayer for her is that continues into the WNBA and that people watch the draft and that they just keep supporting women.
Which is coming up soon.
Yeah.
She has no break.
Yes.
I looked at the schedule and I was like, oh gosh, Caitlin, no break for you.
Right? Isn't that wild? But that jacket was a vibe.
Thank you.
The white was so good.
Yeah, I loved that jacket.
Where does it end up? Like that's my where. So who has that now?
I do.
Okay, but because you're proud of it, right?
Yeah,
like
those are my babies, and I have a really hard time letting go of them. And I'm trying to build a business. That is like always been my tunnel vision, my end goal, and we are working our way towards it. And I think that one day I'll look back at these pieces and I'll like want to have them framed.
They're like your museum pieces.
Yeah,
if you go over to Toyota, like we have the Toyota headquarters here in North America here in near Frisco. And if you drive by in the lobby, they have all the cars, like these iconic cars. I kind of think that it's a similar thing, right?
I hope so.
But how do you scale up from that? So let's just say that you make a jacket like that and it really blows up on social media.
Sure.
What do you think that might look like on being able to take it to retail, to the retail marketplace?
There's a lot of ins and outs that
coming to Walmart soon.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, Yeah.
I'm learning so much every single day, learning the ins and outs and individuals of the business. And there's so much licensing behind it all. We're really trying to focus on NFL right now because that's kind of my bread and butter.
Well, tell us about that. So the NFL, for those who don't know, you were the first. There was a first involved with you being the first to have an NFL license. That was right?
I don't know.
Was it? Okay, I'm making this up right
Yeah.
now on the spot. Can you tell?
But that was a big deal. I mean, that was a big deal when that news came out.
Yeah. But you
got
were
licensed by the NFL.
licensed.
Yes, it's very hard to come by for sure.
And Roger Goodell himself was wearing your vest.
We
at
love the Goodell
influencer
family.
event.
Wild. Okay, and do you
What
know
in the
this? I do. We should take a moment to shout them out. So Jane made a donation. Do you know this?
Would jump in front of a car for that woman.
She
I
literally
love Jane
made a
Goodell.
donation to NBCF in your name, gave us permission to talk about it because she was so inspired by you. In the little note, she was like, Kristen, what a joy it was to sit beside you and to get to know you. A cause for you is a mission that I'm always happy to get behind. And I was like, in the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
Like the Goodells, are you kidding me? It doesn't
She-
get bigger than that.
She's really special. She's one of those people that you meet right away and you can just tell that she has a great heart. And she wore one of the Super Bowl vests that I made to the Super Bowl. And it's so funny because I made them men's. So I had one for donation and then I made 10. I made 17 garments that week.
Oh my
It
word.
was wild. But I realized I'm like, this is such a once in a lifetime opportunity. There's so much media behind it. Like I gotta put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. So I really did. And I made about 10 Super Bowl vests and I was just looking to place them on people. In addition to the one that I auctioned. And with Jane, she really wanted one. And I felt so bad because I made them like men's larges, men's XLs, because I didn't know who they were going to.
Yeah.
So it was so big on her. And I was like, you really don't have to wear it. Right? If it's too big, I totally understand.
Yeah.
But she was so prideful in it and she wore it. And she's just so sweet. I really love her.
Lil Wayne.
a moment for that though, because
that's
my
her
favorite.
favorite rapper.
We love Little.
WCF Baby is my number one ever of all time.
Let me tell you, he is incredible. Watching him perform, it will make you even more of a fan. After every song, he goes, "Thank you."
It's my daughter's first concert was Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
So come for me, CPS, if you need to. But
Yeah.
she loved it, lived it, knows all the lyrics. Like I'm very proud that my 6-year-old is a
Young
little,
buddy.
yeah, exactly. You better believe it. A Millie.
Yeah.
But I want to know, like that was a big question I had for you. I mean, like
that was a
Gayle
really-
King, of course,
Yeah.
like
Gwen Stefani.
It was
Kelly Clarkson.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Like how did you choose? How did that line up?
Yeah, it was like I said, such a whirlwind of a week, so many emotions, just trying to stay so present. Everyone has been so incredibly supportive of all this. And, like having all these amazing, incredible people wear it also like made the auction go higher and higher, which was so incredible. Lil Wayne's actually a really funny story. So Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the 49ers, loves Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
His son is named Carter.
Oh, of course.
And so, like,
Carter 1, Carter
The
2,
Carter.
Carter 3,
yeah,
Carter 4.
exactly.
Yeah.
Loves him. So I knew there is a party after the Super Bowl, win or lose. Each team, they throw like a party to celebrate the team. And we knew that Lil Wayne was performing. So I'm like, is there any way I can just get one to Lil Wayne? And that's kind of been like my story in all of this. I never expect anybody to wear it. It was really just gifts.
Yeah.
Like, please take this. I would love for you to, it would just be an honor just to you to have it. Yeah. So, after, of course, we didn't win the Super Bowl. We were all very sad. And this party, it's like, you get there and everyone's really sad. There's huge waves into it. But then Lil Wayne comes out and he's performing. And I'm just kind of in my own little universe because we're sad. And all my friends are tapping me and everyone's yelling at me. And I was like, why is everyone yelling at me right now? And I realized he was wearing it on stage. And so like me and Kyle, it just brought a little bit of like joy back.
Yeah.
And it was just so unreal to see him on stage wearing that vest. And he looked so good in it.
Yeah.
And it brought us some joy, that night because it's always up. I mean, it's not an easy night. Winning
that moment
losing
for
that
me
big
was
game.
your Taylor Swift moment.
Yeah.
Like I was like the pinnacle of who could be wearing this right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, it was
Like,
so cool.
And I thought Gail's shout out to you.
And Gail is so sweet
Oh,
and
my
so
word.
supportive as well.
That was so great.
I
That
think
was-
everyone realized like the mission that we were trying to. There's such a story behind this. I mean, quite frankly, I'm sewing on my kitchen table, and my we have a ping pong table. I'm sewing on that. Like I don't have a studio. I'm not I'm self-taught. I didn't go to fashion school, and so I think there's like a story, and it gives a lot of people hope that your hobby can be a business, and you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars going. Oh my God, college is going to hate me for saying this.
No,
Going
you're
to
right.
these schools, to teach you. If you have an eye for it, you can teach yourself and you can train. And, shout out to all those incredible students as well who are getting the proper training. They're incredible too. But, I just think it gives a lot of people a lot of hope that you can do it too. Yeah.
I think that's so special.
Well, I was going to ask. We'd be remiss if we didn't take a second to talk about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
By the way, I just watched her concert on Netflix.
Oh, it's incredible.
You just watched it?
Did.
Where have you been?
But I kind of skipped a little bit. I was just like trying to
You
cover.
skipped a
I know.
little bit.
Come on, you should just be happy I watched it. But I
progress.
watched it. Look, my daughter came in. She goes, "You're watching Taylor," and then she was talking my ear off about it, but going through all the eras and everything, and it overwhelmed me. It just blows your mind how prolific she's been in her career, how much she's done. It's like 3 hours nonstop of
the
content,
stamina,
like hits, and then she's performing, and you realize that she has this whole discography that's incredible. So you have this iconic person who's basically the biggest celebrity in the world, and you find out that there's a chance, or what was the dynamic there? You're friends with Brittany Mahomes.
Yeah.
She's been a supporter of your designs.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, how that played out.
Sure.
Taylor Swift was
Yeah,
wearing
absolutely.
the jacket.
I have been knocking at like a lot of brands' door the past couple of years, and it's been challenging to get something. It's not easy to get something licensed. And I realized this past year, like I'm dressing myself isn't cutting it. Like it's not getting the momentum that I quite frankly think that it deserves. So I'm like, my goal this year is to dress some other people. Never in a million years did I think I'd be able to dress the people that I dressed. But Simone Biles, like shout out to her. She's incredible. Yeah. She was one of the first to wear one of my designs and it looked so amazing on her. And then, we had Debo, one of Kyle's teammates, who's been so supportive. So I say, they lit the match and then Taylor Swift just like made it explode or put it on fire. But Brittany has been so supportive. She's worn a few of my designs now. And I can't, it's so funny, like the timelines get blurred as things happen. But I asked Brittany, because I was making her a jacket, and I said, hey, is there any way if I make something for Taylor, would you feel comfortable passing it along?
Were you nervous sending that text?
Extremely nervous. Yeah. Like I don't want to ever make her
like,
feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I was like, zero pressure. If it's a no pressure at all, I'm happy. I'm so happy to make yours. And she was just said, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, okay. And I didn't want to push, So I was Googling her height and her measurements because I don't have her measurements, Taylor. But that's what's so great about a jacket is that like it could be oversized.
Yeah. Just drape it on your shoulders.
Exactly. Yeah. So now I'm making this jacket and I'm seeing all this press around how it's going to be the coldest game in NFL history.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, okay, these jackets need to be warm. They need to work. So I'm insulating them. I'm doing so much. And I would say like 2 nights before I was about to ship Brittany and Taylor's to Brittany, she asked me for a video of Taylor's. And I just was like, is there
this is getting real here.
Why do you need a video?
Yeah.
Is there a chance you guys are both wearing them? And she's like, oh no, yeah, we're both wearing the jackets.
I can't. I was like, what do you say to Kyle? Like, how does that go from like your ears to like, how do you tell Kyle that? Like, Kyle.
That's a great question. I wish I could remember that. I was so happy, just so overwhelmed.
Like
and so
your
happy
friends
with joy.
that are in the studio, y'all got that text immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't you?
And all capital letters. Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a funny
really
story. I'll just tell it. So I went to go text one of my best friends. Again, like the joy and all capital letters. Like, oh my gosh, they're both wearing the jackets, but I sent the text to Brittany.
Oh my God.
And I just was like, ooh, yeah, there's no getting around this. I'm just really excited. Like, thank you so much for this opportunity. But so many people can relate. You always do that.
For sure.
I was so mortified, but it is what it is.
Brittany must have been, when she's finding out originally she was going to meet Taylor. I mean, now they're like buddies and all that.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where they didn't know each other, and she
Taylor
was
effect.
freaking out about it.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the day comes around.
Yeah, so I send it, to them, and I who knows? I'm like, oh, maybe it won't fit her. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
And so I was just sitting there with everyone else sitting on the couch watching their game because it was a big playoff game. They were playing the Dolphins in Kansas City, and we love, we're Miami fans as well because
Hard
we
Knocks,
love
shout out, great season,
and we love the McDaniels. They used to be with the Niners, so we were like, this is such a big game. And we sit there and I see her walk out, and I just was like, just so overwhelmed with happiness and joy, and I'm so beyond grateful to her. I mean, she does so many incredible things, but like truthfully, she single-handedly catapulted my career.
Yeah.
Like I've been at this for so long, and just like she didn't have to wear that. I mean, I'm sure she has any designer in the world would be so happy to make her something. So for her to wear something of like a small business and somebody like me, I just felt like so
it's very
beyond
validating,
honored.
right? To all that work you did.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And just like what an incredible human she is. And she, you know, and she I'm sure she understands like the power of herself and like if she walks out in this, like what it will do for me. And I just am beyond grateful for her. And just like, I wish I could give back to her. I don't know how.
Well, Taylor, come on in. We got Taylor's going to come in. And we're gonna let her
she also has been impacted by breast cancer. So I do think that there's something to that. Yeah. I mean, it's a God wink, right? That we're kind of, it's just a community. I mean, we know, I want you to know just for perspective. I mean, we had that same moment with you.
No, thank you.
I mean, like it just, I want, you know, people to hear. I mean, I was sent a message on LinkedIn.
Well, I said when I walked in, I'm like, I probably should have given you a heads up on all of this. You were just like, hey, all the proceeds are going here. I should have been like, I'm thinking of this. But you know what? It was such a crazy 2 weeks. And it would just happen. Everything happened so fast that it must have slipped my mind.
Yeah, but imagine you sitting on the couch seeing her wear your jacket in that moment. I mean, that's how we felt as the foundation because all I could think about in that moment was like, I'm gonna cry, but just like think of how many women are gonna be saved from this.
Oh, thank you.
Like you will never understand. It was never about followers or likes or clicks or notoriety. It's every bit about the impact that you've had from what you've been able to do for us. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And this is ridiculous. I'm gonna cry. I need your shine powder.
I got you.
I need your powder.
I got you.
I need
Because
your
I cried
poo.
earlier
I
and we
need
did
your
this.
poo.
We did this little check presentation thing, and it was beautiful.
What it meant for us. I mean, we've talked about this, but since NBCF was established in 1991, the mortality rates in the breast cancer community have gone down 60%.
That is incredible.
And
wow, what an amazing stat.
We know we're working hard, and we know we're small but mighty, and we know we're the highest rated and the most well respected in the world. But like moments like that, where it's like somebody who is at the top of their game, who could choose anybody in the world, you chose us, and we were ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's not. That was a Taylor moment. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
But like we were ready to receive those blessings that you gave to us because we had paved the way, right? And the cool thing about NBCF is that our impact is great, but the need is always so much greater.
Sure.
And what it allowed us to do as an organization is to turn some of those no's into yeses. I mean, I want you to think about that. Like there were hospitals around the world and women around the world that really needed our programs and services, and we just didn't have it. But because of you,
thank you.
You've saved lives.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, you genuinely have, and it just. We will never be able to thank you enough.
Well, you don't need to. Thank you guys, seriously, for all the amazing work you guys do. It's just incredible. And for me to just have a little portion of the success is just like incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I think what brought us here today, was your mom.
Yeah.
And so maybe the audience could hear a second about your experience there with your mom and just, like we were honoring her today.
Sure.
And just interesting to hear background on that.
Yeah. So my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. I think she was 36. Oh. So she was
pretty young.
Very young, yeah. And so she was battling my whole life, in and out of remission, losing her hair, growing her hair back, losing hair. So it was something that I was around my whole life.
Did you ever know different, really?
No. And I think that where like I wish I had like a support group for kids, because I don't think I really ever realized the magnitude of it, because that was my norm my whole life. I didn't think anything of it. Like mom has cancer, but mom always has cancer, and mom will always bounce back, And so I never really understood like the severity of what was happening in her life and how much our life could possibly change, or what I could do as a kid to help her, because I feel like as a parent of somebody who's going through that sickness, they want to, they want to protect your innocence, and they don't want to give you all the details. And but as a kid, you want to help, you want to do things, and you don't know how to. But my mom was just like, anybody who met her, I swear she touched their soul. She was so angelic, so giving, just like such a bright light in the room.
It's hereditary. I'm here to tell you.
And yeah, she was just such a fighter. You never saw any pain in her eyes. She never had like the woe is me mentality, never let the disease bring her down. It never stopped her from anything. She was always at anything that she wanted to be at. And she was so giving too. but she just really was so incredible. And I mean, anything I can do to honor her, I said today, like I try to do something every day to honor her. But I mean,
when you
today,
spoke, you earlier when you were sharing about your mom, but obviously all these things came out. But even on the Today Show, when you were talking about us, when we first heard about you, there's a difference. We have people a lot of times that are like paid spokespersons and celebrities that will represent a brand on our behalf. And we oftentimes, we're grateful for however, that comes to us. But you can really tell when it's really connected deep in someone's heart.
Yeah.
And you had done a lot of research, and you were like, this is a chance for me to do something with this platform.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm curious, like, why did you go with NBCF and why did you work with NBCF?
Yeah. Well, I think what you said, you guys are small but mighty. I find myself the same way. I'm small but mighty. And I think what's so important, I think anybody when they want to donate or when they want to be a part of any type of foundation, they want to see the actual change. They want to see where that money is going and how you're affecting patients and family. And you guys do such a great job telling that story too. You go on your Instagram or you go on your website, you can see the change that you guys are actually doing to the world. And so many incredible foundations. That doesn't take away from what everyone else is doing as well. But I think it was really important for me to be aligned with the foundation, that you see that change and you see how you guys are helping so many patients and families and communities and how much you guys, how much you guys are growing. And if I can just be an assist to that, it would make me happy.
I think one of our biggest opportunities, let's really focus on this support group for kids. Yeah. I love that. I mean, coming from the president of our foundation who sat there and watched his mom go through this.
I think it's really confusing, especially through different stages of life. I mean, I think I was like 4 or 5 when my mom first got diagnosed. But then, then she was in remission for a few years and then it came back, and it was always coming back and fighting. And when you grow up with it, there's just so many different stages of life that you're trying to understand. And then even when it's like, when you only have 2 weeks left, it's very confusing. It's when your brain isn't fully developed. And as a kid, you have so many distractions. And, it's like, I was applying for colleges. I was supposed to be looking at colleges that time. And, you're not like, you don't understand the severity of what's happening in your world. And I look back now and of course, I mean, there's always guilt, right? I think it's impossible not to. And I wish I could have done this. And I wish I could have been there or more, or understood what was happening. And I don't think I really understood it. And I think that is like a missing piece of all of this, is just like that support group for the kids that are going through it.
We'll call it Hope Juice.
Yeah.
Juice for hope.
What is something now that, these years have transpired and where you are now as a woman, what is something you wish your mom knew about you as a woman now?
Oh, yeah. I think we change so much. We grow a lot. I think like with me, like my like guilt as like a child who lost their mom young, is I've never felt like I got to know who she was. I knew her as mom, and as you get older, your parents transition from like your parent to your friend. And I never got to like know who she was in that sense. And I think that's the same thing. Like I wish my mom could see me from like, I look back who I was as a teenager and I don't even associate myself with that person, And now I'm just like, I feel so different than where I was at. So I know she's watching and, and just to spread joy and support for women. And she was just like very much somebody who just wanted to continue the empowerment of women. So yeah. I mean, there's so much to be
proud of you about for what you're doing. I mean, again, like just to recap this, you build this business from just hard work of learning and really being self-taught. And then you take that, and then when you get this massive platform, then you share it to help other women and people in need. And as a parent, I can't imagine being more proud of my children if they were to do that. So I just want to applaud you for that. To kind of lighten things up after that, because we're all on the edge. We've been making each other cry all day today.
Lashes are still here.
Earlier, we were talking about the solar eclipse for a split second, about totality and all that, and your husband is a nerd, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so what is a nerdy thing about Kyle that we don't know?
Oh, there's so many
Give us some.
things.
Give us some.
Back the curtain. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, he loves science. He listens to a space podcast every single day. So the eclipse was like huge for him. He also loves to garden. He's a huge gardener. He has this hydroponic system in our house, and we have like arugula and everything you can imagine. And that's like, he loves working with his hands. And
I see he cooks a lot. So does he pull from that garden to cook?
Yeah,
okay.
Loves herbs. So he's from Ohio. So I feel like that's like his roots there.
And you're Italian, right?
Yes.
So are you asking for a lot of the Italian herbs and things like that?
Oh yeah, like I need all the basil, I need the arugula, I like the fennel, I like it all. But yeah, he loves space. He loves to cook. You know, he's like a man of many traits.
I love that.
Yeah. He loves it all. We don't have like very like specific roles in our relationship. Like we both love supporting each other. We both love to cook. Like, you know, we just are kind of like when one needs support, the other one will step up, and it's been like very vice versa.
That's the way it should be.
Now, the real stars of the show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the dogs.
Oh gosh,
They're
let's talk about
dogs.
I mean,
first of all, what are their names? Speaking of Italian, what are their names?
So the first one's my firstborn is Mozzarella.
I love it.
And then, so that's obviously like the Italian. And then Kyle's Polish, if you can't tell by our last name. And and his favorite food growing up was pierogies. So that's why we have our mozzarella and we have our pierogi.
What are they shortened to? Is there like nickname?
Mozzi and Rogi.
Mozzi and Rogi. Okay, well that works.
yeah.
That sounds like a buddy cop drama kind of thing, doesn't it?
Mozzi and Rogi.
Mozzi and Roga.
I love
like
it
Mario
so
and
much.
Luigi.
They have more followers on
Yeah, actually, I
Instagram
had
than
her.
like all of our friends combined. So it's fine.
Kyle
we'll
runs
get
their
there.
account, actually. It's really funny.
Okay, and he's a social media manager too.
Yes,
See,
he does
he's a
it
dog
all.
agent, like all
Good
the
Lord.
things.
Man, that guy's got it all going for him. I gotta say, he's my hero.
Well, so have you ever thought about
Gardening.
venturing into fashion for dogs?
Oh, absolutely. I think we got to take one step at a time now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
One paw at a time.
Yeah, one paw at a time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's such a little. I said next year I have to like make an outfit, and then I have to make them like a matching bandana.
You got to talk to the Goodells and say this is a whole market. Dog NFL merch.
Yes.
You know, little vest, like a little tiny puffer vest.
I'm
And
just
then you send them
saying.
to famous dogs. I don't know who they are, but you know, like what are some famous dogs?
Her
Benji's the only one I
dogs.
can
Are you
think of.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, your dogs are the most famous on Instagram, probably. But
They're
Yes.
really hilarious, you guys. They just are so funny.
I'm very
they really have
invested
so
in their
much
day today.
personality.
they got sprayed with skunks. I saw. What was
They
that about?
have, you know, for like a sheltered life that they live, they've been sprayed by skunks. She attacked a porcupine the other day. It was like a disaster.
Lost a nail.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We have, I guess, skunks in our backyard in California. So yeah, they both got sprayed, and it was like really late at night. And oh my gosh.
How long did it take to get the
It's
remnants
still,
of that?
oh,
out?
it's still in the house because I
Really?
didn't realize when they came in, and then all of a sudden it's like there's a video of it on my Instagram. It's kind of hilarious. They're like rubbing their bodies on my rug, and I'm like, what are they doing? I've never seen them do that movement, and then it hits you like a ton of bricks, and
And
you
it
like
didn't go
taste
anywhere.
it in your mouth. It is repulsive. And then like the next day I lit every candle in my house. So my house was like pumpkin, Christmas tree, vanilla, skunk. It was just terrible.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
awful, but
that's so good.
Well, what
Now
is
I know.
we always ask this question about like what role has hope played in your life?
Yeah.
And just, you know, this is a chance to just kind of give an admonition to any young women out there and young people who are trying to, you know, achieve.
I like to say that like every day is an opportunity to begin again. And I think that plays into hope a lot, right? You can have your bad day, but there's always good days in front of you. And I mean, there's so much to it. It's your community, you know, gives you so much hope. And for me, you know, living my mom's legacy, she lived a life of hope. I mean, she battled for years, and she like just lived such a beautiful life and left such a legacy behind her. But I mean, I just think it drives so many people, whether that's your health, whether that's your career, whether that's your relationship. I mean, hope is the reason we are living and breathing for tomorrow. And I think it's really important. It plays such a huge factor in everyone's life.
Well, we are so grateful that you play such a huge factor in our lives.
Thank
I
you.
can't say enough. It was funny because I was telling my kids, we talked a little bit about Finn and Oak on the way over
Yeah.
here, but I was describing to them, you know, where I was going to be the next couple days. And I kid you not, she's 6, but she said, Mama, that's the lady that helps the women, right?
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
like, okay, that's it. That's her tag, right? The
Yeah.
lady that helps the women. I mean, your mom is so proud of you.
Yeah.
And what a joy and an honor it is for us to call you family.
Thank you.
And I just want you to know, like, what you're doing is going to save millions of women and give them hope at the darkest places when
Yeah.
they need it most. And there's no greater legacy than that.
Thank you.
And you're honoring your mom in such a beautiful way.
Thank
and
you.
what a privilege for us in our headquarters to have her name on Janelle's leaf. And it just, we can never say thank you enough.
Well, well, thank you guys so much for bringing light to the situation and, to spread so much hope that you guys are doing. And if I could just be a little piece in that, I mean, it's such an honor. So thank you.
Well, we love you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, is there anything, as we're wrapping up here, anything that you want to plug or whatever? I don't know. Like, you got any new designs or anything we should be looking at?
Well, hopefully we'll get some things figured out. But
So we should just basically like Instagram. You're really active on Instagram,
I am
right?
very active on Instagram.
Okay, so we can follow you at
I need to be better on TikTok. I'm not very good at it.
TikTok.
At
It's called
Kristen.
it Tic Tac. Well, I revealed my age.
Herein lies the problem. Yeah.
TikTok.
At
Yeah,
Kristen Juszczyk. Yeah, follow me for all updates. Any updates on my business, I'll put on there. But we're working towards it. I'm learning so much. And, I really just want to make sure quality is there at the end of the day. So I would hate to put something out there too quick and have to jeopardize that. So everyone just has to be patient with me. But trust me, every day, every hour, I'm working in and out to try to get this business off the ground, because as incredible as it's been to be able to dress all these amazing people, my main goal has been to just dress the fans. That's all I've ever wanted, is to walk into the stadium and see fans wearing my designs. I mean, that's been the goal, and that's always the goal. So I'm working towards it day in and day out, and I just need patience.
Yeah.
I'm working. I promise I'm working.
Well, hey, we are rooting for you. We're in your corner. We are your Hope Hype Squad.
I love
we'll call
it.
it that.
There you go.
We got to get back to our Juice Kids support group. I think that would be amazing.
I think it really
we could
would
come
be.
up with something great there. But one thing before we go, a lot of women reach out to us. Probably the most DMs and the most inquiries that we got, kind of the whole Super Bowl craze, is, will NBCF ever get to have a vest on display, like in the headquarters?
Absolutely.
So you're hearing it
I would
first
love,
here.
love to gift you guys.
Yeah,
one.
we'll probably get it from Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect.
probably.
That's what
Just
she's
text
really
Wayne.
looking for.
Yeah,
That was all a
bring it.
ruse.
No, but seriously, so many women reach out to us and they're
Yeah.
like, we would just like to see it. Can we touch it? I'm like, you can't touch it
Yeah.
ever. We are
We'll
going to
put
put a
behind some
shrine
glass.
around it, you know?
I would be happy to.
But something that would be a cool permanent
Absolutely.
fixture in the headquarters. But Kristen,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Kristen.
Yeah, thank you
It's
guys
been
for
such a
having
pleasure.
me.
Thank you for
This
your
is so much
time.
fun.
Thank you for your heart.
Thank you.
And next time, let's have Kyle and
Yeah,
the dogs. We'll have the
absolutely.
whole
Oh,
family.
Yeah,
you
we'll
don't
just
want
do the
that.
whole
You don't
crew.
want that.
Yes, I love it. Okay, guys, until next time, thank you so much for having
Thank
us
you,
at the
everyone.
Hope Ignited
Thank
table.
you. See you soon.
We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.